I always forget to film an intro, so I'm filming this after I filmed the video. But as you can kind of see the bag in the very background, you'll see it in the next clip. It's a Sawtooth, like quilted style granny square tote bag, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, so I hope you like it. This bag uses worsted weight yarn and a 3.5mm crochet hook. So let's just get started. We're going to start by making a granny square, and I'm showing you how to make the half one color, half the other color granny square, but it's basically the same, you just don't have to change colors. So to start, you're going to make a slip knot, chain 4, and then slip stitch to the first stitch. That's going to get you a loop, and then we're going to chain 3. Okay, and then from here we're going to make 2 double crochet because the chain 3 acted as our first double crochet, and in the first round of a granny square it's always going to be 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then another 3 double crochet, and you're going to do that until you have 4 corners. But with the split square we're only doing half of the square and it's on a diagonal. So we're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1 of our green yarn, or whatever color you're using, but I'm just going to say green. And then you're going to introduce your second color, and then you're going to make a second chain with your second color. And it's kind of fiddly when you first start, but it's fine. And then you're going to finish this first round by making 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then chain 2.
Perfect.
Then once you're at the end of the round, you're going to do the last chain 2. Then we're going to slip stitch into this top stitch, the first double crochet we made, not the chain 3. And you don't have to do this part, but I'm just like weaving my ends in as I go, because I hate weaving in ends, as we all do. And then you're going to flip it over. We're going to flip it over every round. So now we're on our second round. So you're going to make another slip stitch. Then you're going to chain up 3, which is going to be the first double crochet. And since we're in a corner, we're going to make another double crochet for a total of 2. And then since this is a full granny square, we're just going to double crochet in every stitch across. And for this round, there's 3. So you're just going to double crochet 3 across each side. And I'm just weaving in that end as I go, just making sure it all stays on this side because this is going to be the wrong side when we're done. Okay, then we're going to do the 3, and now we've come to a corner. Corners are always the same. You're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet. Then after that you're going to do 3 double crochet to the other corner, and then I'll show you how to change colors.
Perfect.
Once you come to the corner where we need to change colors, we're going to do half the corner. So we're going to do 2 double crochet in the corner space. And then just like the first round, we're going to chain 1, but this time we're going to pull the yarn to the back of the work. Then we're going to pull up the other color that's just hanging on there and pull that through and then make a second chain. And now we're just going to finish the corner by double crocheting 2. And sorry it looks kind of messy, I'm trying to weave in the end as I go and it's getting a little bit in the way, but I hope this all makes sense to you. So we did that 2 in the corner, and now just like the other sides, we're going to double crochet 3 in the side, then another corner, then double crochet 3, and I'll show you how to do the end. Okay, and then on the last side we need to do 3 double crochet like usual, but the stitches are a little bit covered. So the first 2 are visible, but the third stitch is hidden by the other color. You can see the post hanging out underneath. So what I like to do is just crochet right underneath that post, just so that it's aligned and it looks correct. And so just make sure you have 3, and then we need to complete this corner, so we're going to do 2 more double crochet in this corner space. Sorry, it's kind of blurry, my camera freaks out sometimes. Then we're going to chain 2, slip stitch to the first double crochet of the round that we did, and then we can flip over for round 3. Okay, round 3 is basically the same thing as round 2 because granny squares are just repeats of each other. So slip stitch, chain 3, and then make your second double crochet in this chain space. Now the only difference in this round is it's larger, so we're going to do 7 double crochet instead of 3 double crochet, but everything else is going to be the same. So you're going to do 7 double crochet, do the corner space, 7 double crochet, and then change colors like we did on the last round and do everything the same, except it's going to be double crochet 7 instead of 3. on this last side, make sure you catch the hidden double crochet that we talked about before, the post, and then this is 6, and then there's one more, this post here, so I'm just going right in that post so that I am directly on top of it. And then we're going to finish this corner by adding 2 more double crochet, just like we did in the last round. So 2 double crochet, and then we're going to chain 2, slip stitch in the first double crochet we made, and then our granny square is done. So for each side of the bag, you're going to need 8 half squares, 4 color A and 4 color B. And obviously you need 2 panels, so you got to double that to make a front side and a back side. And here's showing the finished front side. I really like how I pieced these together. It looks very clean, very crisp, very professional. And yeah, I'm really glad that I found out how to do this flat seam stitch, and I'll show you how to make that in a second. Since it's just a bunch of squares, you could potentially make this bag in a bunch of different quilting motifs. I just settled on the Sawtooth star because that's my favorite quilting motif, but you could play around with it if you want. Just use some graph paper since it's all squares. And this is what that's going to look like. And I just did this in rows. So the bottom 2 rows together first, and then the top 2 rows together, and then I pieced both halves together. You'll see that in a second. So in order to do the flat slip stitch seam, we're going to start with a slip knot, and we're going to place our hook in the first chain in the corner, and we're only going to place it in the back loops only. Okay, so we're going to put our hook in the back loop of the first chain closest to us, and then we're going to do so on this second square, the bottom square, in the back loop only. And then we're going to take our slip knot and we're going to pull the yarn through. Okay, and from there everything's going to be the same. You're going to stick the hook in the back loop on the top piece, and then the back loop on the front piece, and the yarn is always going to hang out at the back of the work. So it's going to be underneath here, and we're just going to pull it through all 3, which is what's going to make that slip stitch. And it's flat, unlike if you did a single crochet or something like that. And I did this wrong when I first learned how to do it. I placed my hook in the wrong order, but the hook has to go from the outside in on both sides. I hope that makes sense. I don't really know how else to explain that, but the hook has to be going down into the stitch on the top and up into the stitch on the bottom for it to look correct. And I'm showing this a bit awkward because it's really hard to show on camera. It's not that hard, but I show myself doing it a little bit less awkward later. And that is what this seam looks like flat. It looks very nice, very professional, just kind of looks like a chain stitch. And when you want to move to the next stitch, you just do the same thing as how you started in the back loops of the first chain in the corner. And it's actually even easier because now you just pull your yarn through all three, and that's all you have to do to jump from one square to the next, and then you just continue. Okay, and this is how I really do it when I'm not trying to film it. This was very awkward to film, but I hold the yarn up on my finger, and then I just pull the hook over the yarn, making sure that I'm catching the yarn underneath the stitches. But this was just way easier for me to like rock it back and forth rather than try to pull the yarn up every single time. It's much faster, but it's really hard to show on camera. Once you have your bottom two rows pieced together, you can go ahead and do the top two rows since they're just mirror images of each other. And then the difference here is the colors. We've been using orange or color B to put all these together, but here you have to use orange only in the middle and green only on the sides, or else it's just not going to look right if there's just a green line in the center. It's going to ruin the look. And then you're just going to turn it 90 degrees and do the exact same thing as you did before, making sure to only use orange in the middle and green on the sides through that center line, but the top line and the bottom line are the same as before. So here I'm just showing how I hop over a seam. Once I'm done with a square, I simply just chain one, and that's enough to hop over that seam, and then I just continue what I was doing, making sure that the yarn stays underneath, and I push my hook over the yarn so it stays underneath my stitches. And now you should have one complete panel. And what I did here is, because I had to use green only for that side center seam, I just made sure not to break my yarn because we're going to crochet all the way around the square just to make it look a little bit nicer. So you're going to chain up 3, and then we're going to decrease around, double crochet. Double crocheting once in each of these corner spaces, and then double crocheting stitch for stitch in every other stitch. And then of course crocheting the corners how we would normally do a corner, double crocheting 2, chaining 2, and then double crocheting 2. I also take this opportunity to crochet in some ends while I'm at it. Some of these ends that are on the sides, I'll just crochet around them as I go. And then once we're at the other side here, I'm just going to double crochet in this chain space and then slip stitch to the first double crochet we made, just like how you would on any other square, and breaking the yarn. Now is the fun time to weave in all your ends. A lot of these ones that are close together, especially the times that I had to change color and there's a little bit of a gap, I just tied them in a double knot and then cut it off because that was way easier than sewing it in, but obviously you can't do that on all of them. So just do your best. If you're going to line this bag with fabric, you probably don't even need to sew in your ends, but I'm going to try hard, so I did it anyway. And then here's how I like to sew in a seam with a tapestry needle. You can really do it anyway because crochet is so forgiving, but I just like to find a line of stitches and go back and forth, mimicking the sort of shape that's already there, just so it's not noticeable. Do that for 5-6 stitches and then just cut it. Okay, now we're going to crochet our 2 panels together, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to attach with color A in a corner space, and we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to take the back panel. This is wrong sides together, slip stitch to the square, and then you're going to start a double crochet in the front corner, and then you're going to start a double crochet in the back corner, only going through 2 loops so that you have 3 loops on your hook, and then you're going to go through all 3 loops, and this is a double crochet slip stitch basically. And so we're just going to continue that all the way down the line. Start a double crochet in a front stitch, start a double crochet in the stitch just across from it on the back panel, then go through all 3 loops. And you're just going to keep doing that all the way down 3 sides, because we're closing off 3 sides and obviously leaving 1 open for the opening of the bag. Guys, I finally broke a crochet hook after 17 years. It was my favorite hook. When you get to a corner, we're going to do what we always do in a corner. We're going to do 2 double crochet slip stitches. Don't mind me doing it differently in this clip, just ignore that. Imagine I'm doing it the way I did it before. Don't ask questions. We're going to do 2 double crochet slip stitches, if I can get my stuff together. And then we're going to chain 2 for that space, and then we're going to do 2 more double crochet slip stitches in these corner spaces, just like how you would in any other granny square corner, and then continue along.
Perfect.
Now that we have our 3 sides crocheted together, we're going to be doing our handles, so don't break your yarn. And starting at this top right hand corner, we're switching to single crochet. So we're going to single crochet around this first double crochet to our left, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in this corner space, and then single crochet in the next 8 stitches, matching stitch for stitch, for a total of 10 single crochet. And for the straps on my bag, I chained 130, and that got me about a 32-inch strap. So do with that what you will. You can always just chain up and then hold it up to yourself if you're making it for yourself, and see if you like it. Once you've chained your desired length, we're going to single crochet in the 8th stitch from the side. So we want to repeat what we did on the other side, so counting those 2 as 2 stitches and then counting 8, so that we're single crocheting 10 stitches on this left side. We're going to mirror this entire thing on the back panel of the bag, so just repeat what we did, single crochet around the double crochet, and then single crochet in the chain space, and then single crochet 8 more, then chain 130 and repeat what we did on the left side of the bag. Okay, for the next round, we're going to single crochet all the way around once, going up and over the handle, around each side, up over the handle, and then back to where we started. For this third round, we're going to single crochet 8 from our starting point. And then you're going to do 2 decreases right at the base of the strap. And this is just so that you get a better 90-degree angle. It doesn't really matter, I just thought it looked better that way. And you're going to repeat that on all the sides of the straps all the way around. I hope that makes sense. So here we're going to do our 2 decrease, and I just like doing the invisible decrease, so you go in both front loops of 2 stitches, and I'm going to do 2 decrease, and then continue single crocheting all the way across the strap to the other side, where I'm going to repeat the 2 decrease, and then I'm going to repeat all of this on the back strap. Then we're going to break our yarn and start the 4th round, which is going to be on the inside of the strap, just because I wanted this area right here to look a little bit better. So we're going to slip stitch to this most right stitch here on the front, slip stitch to that, and then we're going to single crochet all the way across to the strap. Then we're going to single crochet all the way along the back side of the strap to the other side, break our yarn, and do the exact same thing on the back handle. And I have 2 variations for this, so stay tuned for that. When you get up to where the handle is supposed to be, there's kind of some like indistinguishable stitches here. So you can kind of just play it by eye. It doesn't really matter that much if you add a stitch here or there. And here I'm going to show the first variation, which is you can slip stitch together the top and bottom stitches of your strap to form a tube, so you get like a more rounded strap. And you may like that. I tried it for the first like 10 stitches or so, and to be honest, I got kind of annoyed and bored. So I just decided to do a plain round of single crochet instead and not do the rounded strap, but I do think the rounded strap would look really good and professional. And here you can see the difference between what the rounded strap would be and just the plain flat strap. I think it would look good either way. If you don't like fiddly things, just do the flat strap like I did. And here is the final bag. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I am the most awkward model in the world, so don't mind me modeling, just look at the bag. And I finally got to add one of my little keychains to the bag, and it matches the colors perfectly, and I love it so much. My little silly goose keychain pattern, which is up on my Patreon. And yeah, I think it fits the bag and it makes it 10 times as cute. I think I'm probably going to use this as my library bag. It fits a couple books perfectly. Yeah, it's not too big, not too small. I think it's perfect. You could make it a crossbody if you wanted, just by making the straps longer, but I'm keeping this as a tote bag. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It really makes me happy. If you want a written version of this pattern, as always, it will be up on my Patreon if you want to join that, and it'll also be up on my Etsy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment something you think I should make next. Bye!